So uncivilized.
Yo, greetings and welcome to another episode of Uncivilized Scoundrels. This is episode 50 of Uncivilized Scoundrels. So we are well in. Like, wow, that's incredible. Thank you for being here tonight. Definitely something to talk about, a lot to really cover tonight. Not really a lot, but a lot to celebrate, to be quite honest, in my opinion, because I think, definitely this is something that I think we're it's a step in the right direction. I know a lot of people, had their feelings from episode 1 to 3, but I think episode 4 really encapsulated everything that I wanted to see going forward, with this show. And hopefully, it's going to take us in a direction that is just like, phenomenal, and we'll love them for it. But like I said, Dave Filoni, I think they did definitely a phenomenal job with that. But we're going to talk about episode 4, Fallen Jedi of Ahsoka, and definitely it is going to be exciting to talk about that. But definitely, I cannot do it without this incredible panel with us. Let's see here, and we have everybody that's incredible in Mario. No, I'm just playing. We got everybody in here with us, man. How y'all doing tonight? What's going on with y'all?
Happy 50, y'all.
Yeah, man. Happy
Straight
50,
up, man.
Straight up. I remember, when Mario hit me up about the show, and he was like, yo, I think we should do a show. And I was like, yeah, we should. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, all right, let's do it. That's what we're going to call it. He was like, I'll get back to you in a minute.
Said, man, these edibles aren't doing shit.
Yeah, that's how I was. I was like, yo, what we gonna call the show? And he was like, yeah, I'll get back to you. So 10 minutes later, he got back to me also with the song. So I was like, yo, that was quick. He's like, yeah, man, that's how I move. And I was like, all right, bet. I was like, when you want to start it? He's like, I don't know. Let's do Thursday nights. I was like, all right, let's do Thursday nights. He was like, cool. I was like, cool. And the rest is history.
That's the most beautiful historical reenactment I've seen since Band of Brothers. All the awards.
Straight up.
You got to replace you with,
like that.
an Ant-Man 5, and recap all, phase.
Oh, be like, right? Just recap the whole thing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, straight up. That's pretty much almost how it went. You know what I mean? We talked about it and it just happened. So to be on the 50th episode, like, that's dope. I think that's super dope. So definitely, Mario, thanks for the idea, bro. It started because of you. You're the one. It's you, man.
Me? Nah, I can't take all the credit, man.
Why not? You he was like, yo, let's just start a show. It's like, all right, let's go. And this is where we at. So you gotta take some credit. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, we asked these folks, and they could have said, oh, hell no, I want to be with y'all, man. Y'all get on my nerve. But they said, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For a minute, too, man. We've been keeping it going. And
definitely,
Rick
man.
CC once again,
Oh, yeah,
and, yeah, man.
CC in the building
cool.
all day. Yeah, I mean,
That's right.
it's definitely cool. We got the billowing queen in here as well. And we got Vinny.
You guys fulfilled my Star Wars wishes and caviar dreams. I always wanted to be on a Star Wars show, and I'm living it up in Coruscant, and everything is great. And this is such a magical night tonight.
Yeah.
I just love being part of this.
Hell yeah, it's definitely, then Vinny, 50 shows in, we still ain't seen the room, but still, you know what I mean? Like,
it might be 50 more. I mean, I made no promises, bro.
It ain't no promise. Damn, man. So yeah, definitely how it is. And as promised, thanks to everybody out there. We were on Brother Cousin Show. Thank y'all for getting me to 2,000 subs. on what
Hey,
2000
congrats,
on
man.
on
Oh, yeah,
on
Instagram.
Instagram. So they basically Instagram. We're still on our way to 4,000 subs on YouTube, but at least I got the 2,000 subs on Instagram. So thank you very much for that. And I told y'all we have some Mario memes coming later on the night.
This
So
guy.
definitely.
Wow. I get one, he gets all butthurt. Got to do like 10 of them. Come on, man. Jeez.
But nah, bro, that one you put up was real because that's the truth. That's just how it was in Disney. That's how I felt, bro.
That's how I felt meeting both of y'all, man.
Hell yeah, bro. Extra short. Damn. Anyway, thank you for being here as always. CC, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. Yeah. Happy Thursday. I'm so happy about this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's just very happy.
Yeah, definitely a lot to talk about. The happiness is definitely there, man, and I'm feeling it. I'm definitely feeling them on a high right now. How are you? How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. It's always a good night here talking Star Wars with you fine people. And there's a lot to talk about tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely it is. It is a lot to talk about. Vinny, you messaged me the other day and said you struck that old Native American tear, that indigenous tear came down your eye when you watched this episode, man.
Yep.
So I definitely thought it was well worth it, man. I was right there with you.
It's a good episode when I'm pacing the living room a couple different times during the episode, man.
Yeah, right.
Wow,
Just trying to,
Yeah.
you know what? And the thing is, for me though, it was like a bittersweet situation because I was this is the first time for a show I've been really sad, like sad, like almost teary-eyed sad. Because I was looking at Ray Stevenson, bro, and I remember being in front of that stage in London when he came out and he was talking about how excited he was about it and hearing the actors around him talk about it, bro. And then to see this episode and see what he did. And I'm like, wow, like literally, bro, like it just broke my heart a little bit. But again, like I was saying yesterday, there's only two actors. It's like, well, they were gone way before their time, but put on a performance that was incredible. And that was Heath Ledger and Ray Stevenson so far that really got me to that point. Like it was incredible.
Like he was born for this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to figure out is how could something so bad feel so good?
Right? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like I think it's a testament to the actor for sure. If you're like, I always root for the bad guys because they're more interesting. But I can understand, like I've heard people say like, I kind of wanted Balin to like whoop some ass in this episode.
Yeah.
Because he's just so confident. And I think Ray was like made and calm, like stoic, but it's a different stoic to Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
And the contrast there between the two of them I thought was really good. And I think Ray Stevenson was kind of made for Star Wars, which is a damn shame. He also looked amazing. He looked the part. I keep seeing people talk about.
It looks like he was born
his,
for it.
like,
I mean, he is stunning.
He's the kind of Sith daddy that you just hop on the back of the motorcycle. You hold on tight. You don't ask where you're going. You're going along for the ride. You don't care what's going to happen. He could be my master any day.
You see how sensual she just made.
I'll go to Tashi's station and get his power converters.
Absolutely.
Oh I don't want to be a part of #Sis Daddy.
Yo,
he's supposed to be seductive.
Yo.
Supposed to pull you in, and boy, he has pulled me in.
One of those nights, man.
Again. We broke Lael again.
The ladies are in rare form tonight.
Well, Chris in the chat said Shin is a close second, and I agree.
Yes,
I agree. I think she looks amazing.
She's lucky to have a master like.
That's what's up.
Well,
anyway,
we almost made it.
It's gonna be awkward.
10 minutes.
Yo.
We almost got 10 minutes in.
Bro, because I'm in the back of my head, like I'm just thinking about, bro. If dude,
just let them run the show, man. I'm ready to step out,
bro. Like let them just run it, bro. Like straight up, just let them run it, bro. Because
let them go,
bro. I'm just thinking about like if was there, if actually there, and he draws his lightsaber, she would possibly just go shit like that.
Yes. Yes.
If she was in Sabine's shoes, she would have like instantly been like, "Just throw me the cuffs. Just throw me the cuffs. Just, I'll take care of it. Just throw me the cuffs.
You ain't got to talk. Just give me the cuffs. Just give me the cuffs." But just the sheer power and just elegance and just like the suave, cool nature. And the thing is, it's like, I think the best choice, and we didn't even get into the episode yet, but the best choice that they made with this episode and with that scene was for Ahsoka to lose. That was the best choice. The best choice ever made, because it's like knocking her down a notch, not as arrogant. And the thing is, she did have a level of arrogance, and it was like that Jedi hubris, even though she's not a Jedi, but it was the hubris that was there. You know what I mean? And it's like now the reality is there, because you're dealing not with just a regular Padawan or a Jedi Knight. You're dealing with somebody who's way beyond that at this point. So again, I loved that particular scene, but I think, shout out to Ray Stevenson, may he rest in peace. Like I knew he was going to be good, because he's good in everything. And I was talking about this last night, Mario, on Say What. He in this show reminded me of Sean Connery from Red October, Hunt for Red October.
Wow.
Looks just like him. Almost the same, like just splitting image, almost the same vibe and strength. You know what I mean?
I gotta ask you, do you think I've seen it?
Seen what? You didn't see Hunt for Red October?
You haven't seen Hunt for Red October?
Not officially, no.
Wow. See, now we're gonna go.
You just see me looked up like, what the fuck? You got Cece's attention hard. She looked up from her phone like, what?
As soon as you said it, her face changed because she was smiling. She was like,
Do you not own a TV? Do we need to get you a TV? They play it all the time.
Here we go. Mario, why, bro? Like, that's here we go.
It's just been one of those ones that's been on the backlog for the longest time, man. And just like out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? So
next month will be the perfect time to check it out.
Oh yeah, it's October, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go.
Yo,
Vinny, just tell him it's your favorite Halloween movie.
It's fitting. You gotta watch it. It's 'tis the season.
Yeah, man, definitely.
It's like Die Hard. It's a non-Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm wondering also? How far would you guys go for love? Because we certainly are seeing how far someone would go. I would go all the way. I think taking the risk we saw in this show was so true. You would risk everything to be with the person you love. And I still don't think it's a brotherly love. I think she loves him with an unbridled passion that makes her heart beat even thinking about him. And when Ray Stevenson's character saw her heart pump when he said the word Ezra, it was like amazing. And Elsbeth was up there smiling like Ursula from The Little Mermaid, saying, "You poor unfortunate soul, go ahead, take a chance." And then it's like they got the coordinates, and then they were like, whoosh, absolutely magical the way that everything flew and coordinated itself. And I have to say, I don't think I would have chosen any different. I'm on Team Sabine. Yeah, let's go get your man, Sabine. You go get your man.
I think. You know what it
dog
is
lost,
like,
you don't look for an hour a call today. You get your ass out there and you find that fucking dog, like Billy Madison. Go fucking find him. I love the pause before. I love the little brief pause, like he was searching her mind, and it was subtle. They didn't make it like a big Kylo and Rey thing where he was probing, but it's like it was so on the front of her mind he didn't even need to dig deep. He was just like, that's the ticket. That's how I'm gonna get her to do what I want.
Like you said, experience. He's very experienced with these things. You know what I mean?
And keep in mind, Ahsoka attacked him first. He tried to talk it out. She came at him aggressive. And how many times have we seen that the person with more emotion, more anger, loses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. And she did. And she attacked him with a form that, again, she used a form that she felt was dominant. Instead of basically using, or tackling the form. I think she basically is more versed in like form 5, I believe. I'm not really sure. But instead of using the actual form that she's used to, she tackled it with one saber, using
Didn't take him serious enough to use both.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And I think within such a more confined space for her, it wasn't really a smart decision. You know what I mean? She's good within, more open areas, more open attacks, where it allows her to be a bit more acrobatic and stuff like that. And with him, his strikes were more powerful. I mean, you saw that. His strikes were powerful, more calculated. He was just more reserved. You know what I mean? And on top of that, he only showed a sign of anger once. But that was just basically letting her know that, again, his hatred for the Jedi because of the way they are, and the way they were. So, I definitely, again, enjoyed it so much, with what we got, everything that we actually see, the score. Oh man, the score was incredible. This entire, and now, and again, the answers to the questions, that everybody, the speculations on who Morak was. Now we know basically his just the construct of a night system.
Why I do not like to speculate on anything.
Right?
I just want to let it play out, man.
Just let it play out, bro.
When y'all speculate, I'm just trying to stay quiet. Like, yeah, okay,
just let it play. But I had said, like, I
tried to tell everybody it was the smoke monster from Lost. No one believed me.
I just wanted it to be a regular character. You know what I mean? Just somebody who wasn't really okay. Yes, he was an Inquisitor once before, but at the same time, it wasn't directly associated with any one person, and that's what I was happy about, because the focus wasn't supposed to. But it's always good, it brings attention to the character itself, and I know a lot of that was there. But again, I just loved what we actually got from it. Mario, let me ask you a question, Mario, because we didn't really hear. What did you feel all together about this episode so far? I mean, where we're not where we're at right now, but with this episode.
No, I thought it was great, man. I mean, I only got to see it once.
Mm-hmm.
I unfortunately had the time to really check it out multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Like I probably should. But no, overall it was great. It started off well. I mean, it just from the beginning, it just got you, and it just went for the entire episode.
Mm-hmm.
And cliffhanger ending, man. So
yes, it was a cliffhanger ending. But you know what? This episode also made me like Huyang even more, bro. Like even more, because the thing is, he got hands. Even though he called for help. He called for help because he wasn't, again, by himself. He was only by himself, and it was more than just that droid. But he still got hands. He got busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Rock'em sock'em style too. He definitely got busy.
Droids.
Yeah, so definitely I love.
Wuhang?
What you say? What?
No, Vinny said Wuhang.
Wuhang. You said Wu. Wuhang. Straight up, man. Definitely, bro. I think again, killed it. But all in all, like I said, I thought the episode was solid. We're going to jump into it. We're going to actually go through and, just kind of dissect the episode for what it is. Definitely a killer of a cliffhanger. Like, again, like you said, Mario, this is where I went, where they left it at the very end. I am in the least speculating anything. I'm just letting it play out. We'll find out why she's in the world between worlds. We'll find out what's going on. On the next episode. It's only next week, next Tuesday to be here. So I just can't wait for it. The anticipation is just crazy for it.
And you guys are going to see it in the theater, right?
Yeah, we're going to go in Philly. It's in Philadelphia, definitely, to check it out. So
that should be crazy.
That shit should
jealous. Be. Not one bit. Nope.
Yeah, we got to travel like what, an hour 45 minutes to get there, bro? Almost an hour 45, 2 hours to get there.
Yeah.
You poor souls. Poor souls. You don't have a fucking hyperdrive? Poor souls.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about it. I can't wait to get to see it in theaters. And the thing is, it's like they're banking on it, especially if they give it a mid-season now, like a mid-season, preview, then they're banking on something being good. Because again, I think from here forward, again, like we had talked about this, Vinny, everything that we've seen thus far, you know, for maybe like a few shots here and there is what we've actually seen in the trailer.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean? So that's, you know, pretty much where it's going now. We haven't seen anything. Like, I don't know what the hell's going to happen now. You know what I mean? So,
wall now.
Yeah, like everything is like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like, let's see what happens next. But
good.
Definitely.
That's how it should be.
It definitely should be. Again, before we dive in, I do want to actually put this out there to let everybody know, like I do every episode. We are basically in the month of September. We are now full steam ahead with the Halloween initiative. Remember, all proceeds, super chats, everything that we actually get goes towards making sure that kids get costumes for Halloween. You know, we're basically, me and, you know, I'm partnered with Toya and Still High Elementary School, as well as the Salvation Army, and also within our area, local area, for kids who can't really afford to get costumes to celebrate. We're here to supply. And again, all your contributions, all super chats, everything that we get goes towards such an amazing cause. So we definitely can't wait for that. And it's going to be exciting times again. So again, $1.99, $5, doesn't matter what it is, it's going to go towards such an amazing cause. And I am extremely, extremely excited about where it's going to actually go. Oh,
speak of the devil.
Wait a minute. Speak of the devil, Mary Sullivan with a generous $49.99 super chat. Happy 50th, Scoundrels. Mary Sullivan, thank you so much for that. And that definitely does go towards, right now, you've just supplied 3 kids with a costume. With just this amount of money right now, you've supplied 3 kids with a costume. Thank you very much for that. Because again, you didn't have to, but you did. But again, happy 50th as always. We do appreciate that. So all y'all, as a matter of fact, this is what I need y'all to do. Everybody out there, hashtag thank you, Mario. If you could, please.
No.
Hashtag,
no. This is a group. This is
everybody,
a group. No.
Hashtag,
don't put me out like that.
Thank you, Mario, for coming up with the idea for Uncivilized Scoundrels. We just came on board, so we appreciate you, big bro. Thank you, Mario, for helping coming up with such a gracious idea. Anyway, thank you very much for that, Mary. It's highly appreciated. But yeah, let's see who actually we have out here in the chat with us today. Let's see who we got here. We got 6 Scale Salvo. He says, thank you, Profi. Definitely. We got a couple people out here saying, thank you, Mario. Definitely. You know, we got to give credit, bro. You better start accepting shit. We got Louis Lipitz in here, Christopher Carrillo, Mary Sullivan. Thank you so much. Ren's Talent, Tino in the building. Thank you for being here, bro. As always, Chuck G in the building. Who else do we got out here? Urbanetics in the building. Thank you so much. Tijuana Mike, aka King Churls in the building. Thank you so much for being here. Marler 2745 is in the building. Blitz 0065. Chuck G. Let me see who else we got in the building. Louis Labitz, AJ Agrus in the building. Thank you for that. For being here as well. Evangelium is in the building. Toy Quest. This guy. Yeah. Wait till September 5th next year. It's on once again. Definitely. September 5th each year is Meme Wars. Just to let y'all know, it's Meme Wars. Between me and him, there's Meme Wars.
It's official now, huh?
It's official.
Right.
September 5th every year is labeled Meme Wars. Okay. So yes, because of him. That's what I'm talking about. We got
is this strictly between you and him on the 5th, or is everyone free game?
Oh, everybody's free game.
Ooh,
it's Meme Wars, so everybody can go in.
Let's go.
So everybody can get memed that day. We just gave y'all a taste of what it feels like, but everybody can get memed. Yes. So it's Meme Wars every September 15th. You've heard it yesterday. We are reiterating today. Yes. So I didn't get you, but you got me last night. But the shit was funny. I got to admit, that was funny. I saw that, bro. It's like, that's exactly how I felt. That's exactly how I felt. And it was dope. So there you go. Leo, how many parsecs is that from 16 Salvo?
We got an hour and a half drive, yeah.
Yeah, we got the Guito. He says, yo, Leo, I'm in Philly. There you go, bro. That's what I'm saying. We're going to be there, man, as always. So make sure hopefully you get a chance to get over there. Christopher Carrillo, What's up, man? Thank you for being. He said, luckily, I'm on the wait list for Los Angeles. So it is in Los Angeles. He's on the wait list there.
Nice.
No shit, bro. Nothing. That's what's up. We got Evangelium. Who else do we got in here? Blazing Asian is in the building. Thank you for being here, bro. Who else do we have? Draw the line 35. Thank you for being here as always in the building with us. Who else do we got here? We have Beskar Kid is in the building. Let's see here. Who else is here with us? Darth Plato. Thank you for being here as always. Who else do we have? Larry Walker, Ryan O'Shell's in here. Thank you for being here, man.
Ryan O'Shell is a good dude, man. Knows
definitely
lots.
A great
knows
dude.
His shit.
Great dude, man. Thank you for being here as always. Who else is in here in the building? Because I'm seeing some of the same names, man. Let me see who else do we have. Anybody that I haven't announced and haven't said anything to. Let's see here. Ryan O'Shell. I think we've covered everybody so far. And more basically that are coming in. CM Brock, thank you for being here as always, bro. Appreciate that. Donnie Leap is in the building. Thank you for being here, bro. Let's see here. Peak Obi-Wan is in the building. Thank you for being here as always, man. Appreciate that. And yeah, so I appreciate everybody for being here. It's going to be a great show tonight. So we're going to actually go ahead and dive in to this episode. Again, bear with me because it is Disney Plus, and we don't want to get demonetized, so I'm not going to play it. But we are going to show some shots from it. So again, we start out with Sabine and Huyang trying to revive the ship itself, get things back on track. We lean in with Ahsoka. She asks where Ahsoka is. Let's Ahsoka know that, let's Huyang let Sabine know that Ahsoka's outside. Of course, they're having a conversation about. Now, here's the interesting part about this, because it's like, how do you, and I'm gonna ask you guys, like, how would you feel if like your objective is to find someone that you've lost, but then hear from another person that tells you, well, chances are, we know that, we have a protagonist, antagonist, and the protagonist is basically trying to get there as well, but for something totally different, and we're trying to stop them. So at the expense of possibly not letting it happen, destroying that star map, and you not getting to someone you love. I wanted to start there real quick because, again, the possibility of Sabine, because I know, like, it was a whole bunch of people online was like, why would Sabine do that, this, that, and the third? And she this is somebody she loves. And we did get more context and more clarity on why Sabine and, Ahsoka's relationship is fractured. We get that from, Balin. So to know that the person that you trust, or, it's so fractured, to hear them tell you that it felt like they're giving up. How would you feel?
Well, I have to say that if somebody told me I had to choose between war or the man that I love, I already know what the answer is going to be. I'm going to fight for my man. So, I don't care what happens going through that way, even though she's close, and they mean a lot to each other. Sabine pretty much has given up. She doesn't want to go on. She didn't want to go to the ceremony. She didn't want to participate. She didn't want to train. And that's the reason why, is because she's so heartbroken over Ezra. I didn't know Ezra was all that. I didn't know he was all that, right? Like, Ezra would be the best, hottest, incredible man in the world, in the galaxy even. So she realizes that he's force sensitive. He's amazing. She knows he is special. And so does Ahsoka. And Ahsoka, I think, didn't think that Ezra was going to have this much of a lasting effect on Sabine. But honestly, there isn't much going on with Sabine anyway. She's comfortable, she's safe, but her life, these how many years it's been, hasn't been what I think most young women's lives are like. You meet other men, you go out on dates, whatever they do in Star Wars. But by now she would have met some other guy, right? Wrong. She's in this other status, and she's a bit of a controversial figure. Not everybody would want to be involved with Sabine. So from her point of view, this might be her one last shot at love. And she's getting older now, and she's thinking, gee, What am I doing? Cutting my lifeline to somebody who makes my heart flutter when I talk about him? Or do I just go ahead and cut this off? Because honestly, I think that these guys would find another way to get to Thrawn. I don't think this is the only way. Yeah. This is something they have to deal with now. Yeah. And, you know, there is nothing on Earth would keep Sabine from Ezra. Nothing on Earth is going to keep Elspeth from Thrawn. That chick is determined. So, you know, it was inevitable. However, I think maybe the reason why Ahsoka has been quiet is because she's not necessarily that happy with Sabine, knowing that if she has to ask her the question that we all were like, what did she just say? Yeah. You know, I thought they were tight, but apparently it's not as it appears. There's doubt. Yeah. And, you know, and as if I were strong in the Force, I would say her future is clouded, you know, like I can't see what's going. There was doubt. And that's why she probably was like, I can't really help Sabine anymore, because Sabine's given up on life. She's made herself into an old maid, going to her ex-boyfriend's apartment and looking at all these old pictures. Come on, guys. We know that's not a healthy way to live your life. She should have moved on by now. But, you know, I think I would be devastated if somebody told me, hey, yeah, you might have to wait another 20 years till we find another Wayfinder or whatever it is. Yeah. I'd be like, you know what? I can't live this life. And I think when she asked this question, when Ahsoka asked her this question, I think Ahsoka already knew the answer.
That's what I was going to say. She already knew. She knew that, again, there was going to be a bit of hesitation. I think Ahsoka wanted to be wrong. She wanted to be wrong. She wanted to feel as though there was, you know, a bit more or a level of maturity in the fact that she understood what the mission was. Stop Thrawn by any means. You know what I mean? And I think that what were you going to say, Benny?
It's all her fault. It's all Ahsoka's fault. How did we get where we're at? She brought the key to Sabine, and in order to convince her to help, she said, hey, we can find Ezra. Yeah. So she knew how important Ezra was to her, and she used an attachment, which is supposed to be forbidden, frowned upon, to get what she wanted and get for what she wished for. Now is, you know, she put the idea in Sabine's head that there's a chance to get reunite with Ezra, and you can't act surprised that, you know, you can't put that genie back in that bottle. Like you use Ezra as to manipulate Sabine into helping you get this key. And if it was so important, if getting Thrawn back to this galaxy was as dangerous as it is to risk losing Ezra too, then you should have destroyed the key yourself in the first place.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, when
there's no guarantee in that there's no guarantee in that if they had never lost it to, you know, in the first place, that once they got to Thrawn, that Thrawn wouldn't have just killed them and then got back home. So if it was that big of a Pandora's box, you should have destroyed it.
And I always think back to like episode 1, you know, if Sabine wouldn't have never left with the key to go on her own asylum to figure it out, then it probably wouldn't have been lost. And again, Huyang always, I was about to say Wu Yang, but Huyang always basically alluded to the simple fact that they needed to be together. Like, they work better together. Like, they work in tangent together. Them separating, you know, it only makes matters worse. And if, you know, again, we know that 2 heads are better than 1 at that point. And if she would have stayed, there was a benefit. So I think it's like a shared responsibility. Yes, Sabine shouldn't have left, but at the same time, what you said was that, again, she baited her, you know, with that carrot, like somebody said out there in the chat. She baited her with something that she knew she had an attachment to get exactly what she wanted. You know what I mean? Yep. And that's exactly what happened. Now you turn around and say, well, you know, you have to sacrifice this for the greater good. And it's like, you know, that person's not, because that's the only reason why they're there is to find someone who they care about. You know what I mean? Everything else is just second to them. You know what I mean? To be now. You can't. You definitely can't. You definitely can't do that. Cece, did you feel as though, like, again, when, you know, Ahsoka brought this to her attention, that it was one of those situations where she already knew the answer? It's like a precognition. You already know what the answer is based on the actions, but you just want to sort of be wrong. You want to hope that you can count on this person. But I think even deep down when she told her that, yeah, you can count on me, Ahsoka already got the answer that she wanted. Yeah, I mean, she already knew it wasn't.
Yeah, I think it definitely like poses I think otherwise if she hadn't asked this, there wouldn't be as much conflict as there was going to be between the two of them, I imagine. So I think also we talk about how whether it's the Imperials or the Rebels, sometimes they make dumb mistakes. And so if she didn't ask, I'm sure someone like us, the viewers, would have been wondering like, well, gee, wouldn't it be more productive to their cause to ensure that Balin and co. don't reach Thrawn than it would be for them to try to reach Thrawn, because therefore try to find Ezra. And like Sabine like moping around in her apartment on Lothal, like it kind of reminded me of Obi-Wan, where it's like, yeah, these people haven't moved on. Like she's having visions or voices while she's sleeping of Ezra. And so I think and also we find out, like they confirm here that like right after all of that happened, Sabine lost her entire family on this with the Siege of Mandalore that we saw in Book of Boba Fett. So I think she's probably holding on to that last bit of hope that like Ezra is, like they said in the episode, the last family she has.
Yeah.
But logically, and also no one was talking about this when we saw Hera make the same decision, because she was told to stand down. Thrawn's probably dead, and she was like, fuck that, I'm gonna go I'm gonna just go and I'm gonna take a squadron of people. No one was like, oh, she made the overly passionate choice and it's a huge mistake. Like no one was saying that until it's Sabine who, in a like passionate split second decision, had to be like, all right, I think I'm just gonna let them take me. Because as at least like in her defense, what I would be thinking too, and we have no idea what condition they're going to find Ezra in, considering how many years it's been. But if I was Sabine, I'd be thinking, like, that's not only my family that we're trying to find, that's also an ally. That's also someone who has the potential to take down Thrawn. It's one more person. And even with the New Republic, I'm sure, like, the rebels as they knew them are not, like, in the numbers that they're used to, or, like, the close companions that she's used to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like this conversation because I think it's bringing back a little bit of Ahsoka's like mission-driven Jedi-ness, but we're reminded often of how she's not a Jedi, and neither is Sabine. So we shouldn't be holding Sabine to the same kind of accountability of no attachments and like putting the mission first or the greater good. Like, no, she's trying to get her family back. Like I don't think she's even has much of an allegiance to the rebellion. I think she just wants to be there to help find Ezra, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing she cares about. She don't even care about her cat. Just Ezra.
She don't. At this particular point, the mission is to find Ezra for her. And the thing is, Ahsoka knows that. And she's always known that. She known that was basically part of, Sabine's objective. You know what I mean? And again, it's like a bait type of situation, but it is what it is. Now, this is the thing that's curious, because Christopher brought up something that I did not notice at all. He said, "Yo, did anyone notice Freddie Prinze Jr. as a picture of Kanan on the cockpit of the Ghost?" Now I got to go back and watch it. I got to go back and watch it.
I've seen it twice. I missed it both times. You
missed it?
I haven't seen it. No.
Yeah, I didn't. I definitely didn't see that. I got to go back and check that out. Just to kind of see how that kind of pans out. Mario, all right, so basically we head into again the next scene where let me see here. Huyang's outside. Basically, Ahsoka tells him to be careful, while he's fixing the ship. We do basically see like there's an HK droid circling the ship. So, I was like, oh shit, like Huyang's about to get that ass whooped. And I didn't anticipate what, definitely was gonna, filter down the line, at this point, but it was good. But then we actually switched to this scene here where we see, Balin and Morgan, basically talking about, the star map and how they're trying to get the proper coordinates. And, we noticed that, again, we see Morak and Shin, who basically appear to let them know that, the rebels are there, and that, we have the troops out trying to find them, which Morgan lets them know that, hey, they can't do it. They're not going to be able to hold them off. And which I love that line when Balin was like, but you can. You know what I mean? So then it kind of sets up. What did you think, basically about, and are you, because there was a split second where you see Shin, when Balin says that to her, she smiles at Balin, but then she looks at Morgan with like this disdain, like she just can't trust her, like she just doesn't like her at all. Like it was like in a split second. So it's like a fractured relationship there. But the whole setup and, what we were going to actually see next, which, they continue to basically talk about where they're going, waiting for the coordinates. But then we switch over to Huyang, who's back at the ship. And, let me see here. We had that conversation, we see Sabine on the ship at that particular point, getting everything ready. And she's kind of going through everything, but then Ahsoka noticed that she's a bit distracted, and it's based on the conversation. Now it just goes back to her trying to get the reassurance that she is aligned with the actual mission. What do you think, Mario, when it comes to, these two, and a lot of people who are saying that they don't see still yet the chemistry between Sabine and Ahsoka? What do you feel about? Are you with everybody who feels as though there's not much chemistry between these two?
I think currently as it stands, it may seem that way. I mean, are you talking about as far as like the actors in general, or are you talking about like as in the show right now?
As the actors, but even on the show itself.
No. I think the actors are in complete sync with each other, but we still got to remember that I think Sabine is still a little reluctant, not really trusting Ahsoka that much, considering that she's already walked out on her, right?
Yeah.
She's and plus her past where she's walked out on Anakin before as well. So
yeah.
She might be conflicted with that, and I mean, hell, I would be too, man. I mean, that level of trust, it's hard to regain sometimes, you know what I mean? But but when these two people get together for the greater good, you just got to put all that aside and you just do what's best, for the mission, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But I think I see them like Huyang said. I mean, together they're great. I think they did a great job. Holding down, defending the ship, against the attack. But I'm just still writing this out, looking to see, how each of them grow. I'm really curious to see where Sabine ends up by the end of this. There's just so much going on. We see her starting off, she's not the best at her craft. But we see her kind of later on in this episode start to hold her own a little bit. Against Shin, so she did much better. So yeah, again, I just want to see how this character actually develops a little bit more. And there's just so much of this episode that went down with her, man. All the all the conflictions, all the emotions, it's a huge struggle for her.
So do you think, like, I guess my question too is, do you think that, because I know a lot of people were like, they wanted to see just off-screen moments. They wanted to see the moments that they're talking about, which would probably help them more attach themselves to the way the characters are being portrayed. Do you think that's needed, or do you agree? I mean, do you think it's needed, or do you think, well, nah, it's okay where it's at right now?
I think to a degree it may help give people a better understanding of where they're at in the relationship. But I think Rebels is there. Yeah. If anybody's watching Disney Plus, you can easily go back and recap, during the week while it's off. Just feel free to catch up. There's definitely been a lot of moments in this season to where I think it is beneficial to go back and watch the series, itself, just so you're caught up, what's going on, because Filoni basically admitted this is Rebel season 5, right? Or season 6 or whatever it's supposed to be. So I understand for some that haven't seen it, it may be difficult to kind of come in and try to piece everything together, and have that strong of an attachment to these characters as we already do, considering that we've already seen the show.
Definitely, bro. But,
I'm in somewhat agreement with that.
Definitely agree, bro. Definitely agree with that. CC, so we get this moment where we get a chance to see Huyang getting busy and throwing some hands, which was unexpected because literally, when I saw this HK droid, I thought it was going to be some problems. But then I had to kind of remember that, okay, Huyang's not C-3PO by any means. I mean, he's trained Jedi for thousands of years. So he would have to have some skills, some combative skills. But it was just kind of nice to see that moment. What did you think?
Yeah, I love the pieces of scrap getting scrappy. Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, I like him so far. I feel like he's very sarcastic. Gives me K2SO and L3 vibes a lot of times. With so I do think that this was like suspenseful as well. I think I remember the music being interesting because of course they're droids, so you're like. The stakes are high, but how high are they? But yeah, I love the design, the retroness of him. I am curious, still curious about I don't know the make of the other droid, but they don't have the 7th Fleet logo, insignia that we saw in Mando, like the first episode that introduces Ahsoka. So I find that interesting. So these must be Morgan's droids.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, how the heck did we see were the droids older than the ones we saw in the Mando episode? Like that's the kind of stuff I thought about when I saw these. But
trying to figure that out, where they are.
Wait, though.
Because it looks like she has, but then we know that Morgan has, the means and also, has resources, has a lot of resources to these droids. Again, we know that, she was part of the whole development process on Corellia before the rebellion came in, and kind of, took control of that type of that situation there. But yeah, you're right. Like it looks like it's two different factions. You know what I mean? Like she has her own, maybe she has, or it might be a line, whereas you have the elite versus this particular model here, which it kind of makes sense because I was like, well, why didn't he just shoot him in the back? Yeah, it was no type of firearm or nothing on this HK droid at all. But definitely I did just the fight itself. Vinny, that rock'em sock'em feel, bro. With this
man, especially with them shoulder punches.
Yeah, right.
He was doing the Harlem Shake, yo. It was Huyang is amazing. Is just not just a comedy, but I love the design. Love the pseudo MF Doom mask and just everything about him, man. He's cool, and I like that. It's just. It's a testament to this world that there's so many droids with fun personalities, but not over the top. It's not just there for comic relief. He's serving a purpose too. So that the droids on this season have been incredible. We're getting some Chopper in there. We're getting great new villain droids. Huyang. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that Huyang has been around as long. He actually helped Yoda develop his saber. And I didn't know that. That's how long he's basically been around. This droid is old. But still, I like this to kind of see that he still carries the Jedi tradition. You know what I mean? Just, within what's in his programming, like you said, still loyal to it. But at the same time, he does, in his own way, see potential in Ahsoka and Sabine together, which again brings me to this scene, seeing them working together. And what I liked about this scene the most was the simple fact that Sabine, we seen her as in her Mandalorian form, which is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see her in full form Mandalorian, put the helmet on, get those blasters out, and go back to what you know and what you do best, which is, again, being the Mandalorian that you could be based on your training, your skill set, and just show them. And I like that we see them working together. What did you see? What you think about this scene?
Yeah, it's great to see Sabine going back to her roots. You know, that's what's in her heart. She's always going to be a Mandalorian. And I think by nature, maybe she can't be tamed. She's not one of the, she's not like Din Djarin's underground group. You know, she's from a family of people who are proud to be Mandalorians, and they show it. It's very different. Humbleness I don't think is in her DNA, and that's okay. She has to fight for what she wants, and I think that she does perceive a lot of things as, you only get the prize if you go ahead and grab it. So that is something to think about. And the Mandalorians, as we've seen, fight amongst one another for power, for influence, and whatever it is. So if she can find peace with Ahsoka, which is what I think she kind of did find some peace, or maybe even teaming up with Ahsoka was somewhat soothing for her after everything, and helped her kind of deal with disappointments and loss in a way that no one else could. And I could see Ahsoka saying, just meditate and, things are going to get better. That's probably a lot of their conversation over the years as she's trying to kind of grow and get over stuff. And that's not necessarily the most entertaining thing to watch, but I could see a situation like that because Ahsoka herself has had loss, not in the same way, but she's had loss and had to kind of abruptly separate from the Jedis and stuff like that. So she's had disappointments too. So she can relate to somebody kind of losing all your friends in one swoop or all your family in one. They've had a similar situation where that's happened to each other. So seeing them fight together, it seems like Ahsoka does well with another Mandalorian. She fought well with Din Djarin, as a team. And, I think they can bring out the best in one another. But remember that the Mandalorian outfit and everything they're doing is meant to defeat Jedi, right? Like it's meant to conquer Jedi. And I think that is very interesting. She hasn't perfected it, but if she wants to be a formidable foe, she has to be able to defeat a Jedi. And then I think that she'll be in that upper class of Mandalorian warriors, but she's still not there yet. That's okay. Like she's got time. I don't think she's in the level of Bo-Katan fierceness, but she'll get there.
Yeah,
I feel like this was so much what she needed, more so than more Jedi training when she doesn't really even have the talent for it. Ahsoka could have just been like Cap and talking to Tony, talking about put on a suit. That was what she needed more than lightsaber training. She needed her armor.
Yeah,
I mean that's how she was able to hold her own in that fight, more so than better attunement to the Force. I mean, her armor saved her twice, literally.
And she might not have gotten stabbed, right, Vinny, in the first episode if she had the armor on.
Exactly, because that's what she's intuitive with. That's what she's used to. I mean, even when she was learning how to use the Darksaber in Rebels, it was like her relearning how to fight all over again. Just kind of like let her use the lightsaber or swords as an extension of being Mandalorian, as opposed to trying to be a Jedi instead of being a Mandalorian.
Yeah, and again, like I said, being that weaponry, armory, and stuff like that, that's part of their religion. That's who they are. That's how they exist. You know what I mean? I would have thought even with the first episode that's instinct. You know what I mean? But I kind of understood why that wasn't the situation here. You know what I mean? Why we didn't see that, because I guess, like I said, her connection to it, and it was spared a moment. Like you can't really grab anything at that point. But here we see her in rare form. Like we see her, moving a Mandalorian would. She has those blasters in hand. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, let's go. Like she's ready for it. And again, like, I mean, that's even what Kanan, was, trying to, express to her, like, use what don't separate yourself from it. He's just teaching her to, a totally different way, but not telling her to forget who she is as a Mandalorian. So definitely love that. We switch from this particular scene and we find that, Hera is about to take herself and Jacen, basically away, to join the fight. I mean, she's going against the rebellion and the New Republic, and deciding to actually join. So it was nice to basically see, that we had her, Carson Teva's back. Definitely so good to see him. The only thing about it was like, yo, if they missed the moment of bringing Zeb in this,
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
bring Zeb. You got to bring Zeb back, into this, this season, like to have them all together. You cannot have them to, just separate. You know what I mean? Bring the game back, just give us that experience of Rebels. And I think it would make sense. So it'd be a loss if we definitely don't see Zeb, in this season. What do you think about that, CZ?
First off, I'm almost like, can someone please call CPS because she brought Jacen?
Thank you. Why are you bringing the kid? That's what I was gonna say.
Like, I'm like, I think it's a bit like, I'm like, Jesus. Did she learn how to parent from Mando?
There's zero reason. It wasn't like they were escaping. The kid just happened to be with. Why are you intentionally bringing a child?
Especially like it's almost like discrimination because it's like, oh, they're force sensitive. They could like take care of themselves. Like what? They'd probably like burn cup of noodles in the microwave, but yet you're taking them to like Jedi missions when you know like shit's gonna get squirrely like that. That's where, because I was like, not to skip ahead, but it's like concerning. Concerning, but also kind of like, I mean, we know the heroes, nothing bad happens to them, but it makes it more obvious when like bringing Jacen, because it's like, we wouldn't see either of them get hurt or the kid, something happened to Jacen, because it'd be too heavy and stuff. But yeah, that was my only thing where it's like, don't bring the kid. Like we just did like 3 seasons of this with Mando. Like just get a babysitter like he does occasionally.
Get a babysitter.
Yeah.
Get a babysitter.
Yeah, and he's like, I have a bad feeling. Yeah, of course you do. You're like 12 years old out there in the middle of a dogfight in space. I'd have a bad feeling too.
He's like, I just want to stay home and play Fortnite. What the fuck?
That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah. But as we saw though, even what we basically saw from the final episode of Rebels, he's been on his journey with his mom for a while. You know what I mean? Like he's been, who knows, off camera what they've been up to, everything that basically he was probably with her, during the battle of Endor. You know what I mean? Because we know basically, he was there. I mean, she was there. You know what I mean? So again, who knows, how long and what they've actually gotten up to. So obviously we know this isn't the first time, that they've been on missions together. But yeah, I mean, I get it. It's again, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I think him also being connected to the Force, being exactly like his dad, ambitious as his dad would be, I don't think he would let her go without him, to be quite honest, because that's just who he is. He wants to become a Jedi. He's already made that apparent. So of course, there's been conversations about his father. You know what I mean? She's talked to him about his father, who his father is. He knows that his father is Force insensitive and was a powerful Jedi. So now he wants to follow in his father's footsteps. But I also think it's just her way of keeping her eye on her son, because again, she knows she can't trust him anywhere else. You know what I mean? At this particular point, we know that the New Republic is a fractured state. You can't trust him around them. So what better than, to have your son with you under the circumstances? And I think that basically she trusts herself being a general enough to know that, she can do whatever she can do to try to protect her son. But I think it's more to it. But I agree on both sides. It's like, it is kind of like concerning.
Time to set him up for future stuff. But in the moment, it's like, maybe that's not the best idea for his season.
Yeah. But. Yeah. And on top of that, like he's not only, put it this way, he's not only just, she knows that his path or his journey to be a Jedi is there. It's inevitable. Because he's very, again, she knows that he's Force sensitive, maybe more powerful in the Force than what we know. But also, she's training him to possibly take her place, to be the pilot, to be that person that she knows he can be, to possibly be a future general. You know what I mean? So she's showing him everything that he needs to know, because she probably knows in her place she's not going to always be there. You know what I mean? So that could also be something that's, kind of pressuring for her as well. But this next scene, the scene that I like the most, and Vinny, I'm telling you, when I saw this, I just got straight vibes, bro. Like straight Kurosawa vibes and everything. When we see, definitely, when was it? Now, well, actually, no. So I'm moving a bit ahead, but because I couldn't wait for this scene.
The drums were there too.
Yeah, we do definitely basically see that, with Morgan Esmith and, Balin, that, they got the coordinates. Now it's just mainly about the countdown to get the coordinates together. I love the simple fact that, again, we're starting to see her dabble more, as Dathomirian, which she is, because, again, it's like a lot of people I saw, they were like, well, yo, she doesn't look like she's from Dathomir. This is a translation from, anime to live action. So we haven't really seen Dathomirians aside from Darth Maul. But, again, he was tattooed, son of a Night Sister. We know this, but to see it now, I guess we just have to wait. And also we know that in the unknown regions, that's where a lot of the Night Sisters are. You know what I mean? So again, it's just going to be interesting to see where that comes from. But I love the simple fact that, again, seeing that this character is getting more weight, like there's more meat to this character than just a one-trick pony that we might have actually saw as another protagonist, who, went down in, what we saw of the Jedi episode in Mandalorian, that they're using it more and we're seeing that. So I love the simple fact that they're expanding on it. Again, Balin, he made, like we saw, like, what was it, episode 1, he made a reference about witchcraft, but then in this scene, he notices that she is using witchcraft. And I think that's like unsettling to him in a sense.
But isn't it the Force? It's the Force, right?
Yeah, but it's the way they utilize the Force. So the Force for them is used through magic, and they're strong in the Force, but they're not, they're not the typical Force wielders. They use the Force to balance magic and conjuring. You know what I mean? That's with, they're used to, whereas Balin is more traditional with the Force and balance and using it that way. So to him, it's like, okay, it's something to get used to when you're working with a Night Sister, which, and again, you got to also understand that the Night Sisters were also, them and the Jedi butted heads a lot. You know what I mean? So now you're working closely together with one. It's just like, oh, that has to be like really something that you're like, wow. But this scene of both Sabine and Ahsoka running through the woods, like, yo, I got samurai vibes the entire time.
Well, can I just say real quick? Blazin made a comment about Morgan, like the actual actress whose name I'm butcher. She's Filipino. Her dad is as well. And he, I think, worked with Bruce Lee. Like she comes from a very, I want to see her fuck some shit up because I'm like, why would they?
You went out a little bit.
Can you repeat that, DC?
Like, why would they cast her when, like, with her martial arts skills in real life, if we're not going to see more of it in the show? I feel like.
Do you think we're not going to see more?
We are. We are because because she did in an interview said that they, like, when they did their scene she already stressed that there's going to be a rematch between her and Ahsoka. Nice. And she said that in the first in the Jedi, that scene with the Jedi, they only practiced for, like, I think a few hours or a day or something like that, or I don't know how long they said, but they said with this one they had over 18 hours. I mean, they had like mad hours of practice, a few days of practice for this particular scene because they wanted to get it right. And they said that it's going to, like, you're going to get a chance to really, really see, what she can do and what she's all about, which makes me wonder, is she going to dawn a saber, or is it just going to be pure Night Sister magic, or is she going to actually use a baton? I don't know. I do want to basically see what's going to happen because I do want that rematch, and I'm glad that, we'll possibly get that. But this though, like, incredible scene, them running through. What Vinny, what vibes did you get with this scene?
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that Filoni, like his mentor, is a huge fan of Kurosawa, and it's a big influence on Star Wars in general for George Lucas. And Filoni is a huge Kurosawa fan, and I wouldn't be surprised if Filoni had Kurosawa cut somewhere with this episode in black and white. I mean, that's what I would imagine him, like, if he really got to go crazy with it, would probably want to do, because this is super Kurosawa vibes with the woods and leaves. I mean, at some point we might even see some cherry blossoms. It's like, it's, you know what I mean?
That's what it almost looked like.
And then so it's a very famous trope in his films of woods, and I mean, even the trees were thin trees that were so close to bamboo, or cherry blossom trees. So like when Shin is cut through that tree, it's like a thin tree that was like, there's how many Kurosawa scenes where somebody dodges a katana strike and it chops down a bamboo tree slowly as it just slides off the tree. It's just all over the place. In so many references throughout, and it's really subtle. It's like he's not beating you over the head with it, but it's a love letter to those films, and he jams in as much of that as possible. Despite not personally directing this, I'm sure he nudged it along with the way it was written.
Yeah, definitely. It was incredible scene so far. We do basically see that why they're basically running the woods. They come across both Shin and Morak. And
they could have made those woods denser though, because Ahsoka should have seen them coming. I mean, you could clearly see. You could see for a very long distance. They should have been able to get the jump on them, but
yeah,
But these two fights leading into it, I loved everything about them. They were incredible, and I mean, there's so much going on in this episode. I mean, it felt like it was a whole movie almost. It was so much.
It definitely did. It definitely did. The weight of it, like it just felt like
there was no fat. It just was so much.
Yeah, it was so much. Like, again, two scenes all at once simultaneously, two battles, two fights going on at the same time. And like somebody said earlier, like, and I've always said this, like I've been saying this since I've been watching the show, like Shin is literally my favorite character from the show. You know what I mean? I love just the mystery. And the thing is, she doesn't have a lot of scenes, but the scenes that she's in, she commands those scenes.
Crazy talented.
Like really crazy talented. Just the way she looks, her personality, like she just definitely gives it everything. Like just her stance. Like I think this character is, there's a lot, really, really to her. You know what I mean?
There are some really beautiful cinematography choices in these fights too, because typically when Star Wars fashion, there's a fight and then they cut away to show another either fight or war going on, and they go back and forth. But there's a few sequences here where we're seeing a fight, and then in the background we're seeing another fight in the same frame. I don't think I've ever seen them do that before.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's the way they framed it, the way it was actually done, like just like the aspect and ratio of where they basically pick these scenes and to see off in the distance, like they're juxtaposing two different things. I just loved it. I loved everything about it. And it looked like, in the very beginning, like when Ahsoka sees Sabine, go after Shin the way she does, you see, like it's a little like a hint of a smile on her face, as if like, yeah, do the damn thing. Like, the approval's there. Go handle that. I mean, she was just basically smiling when she saw them. And she saw, Sabine. But I think that it was more so that Sabine is settled in what she's used to as a Mandalorian. She didn't draw the saber. She just went back to just as a Mandalorian going on the actual attack. You know what I mean? And I think that was something that she was like, okay, yes, you are finally embracing of being who you are and that's what it's all about. Be you, but just also understand the Force. I think the more she understands the Force, and she'll be able to anticipate, these strikes and these attacks and stuff like that. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything new to add to it. As I said, she's not Bo-Katan level. She could dream of being Boba Fett level one of these, maybe in 20 years. She doesn't have the same tech, I don't even think, that Boba Fett had in his armor, but she does need better equipment to get to the level to fight Force users. So she knows that. So, it was good to see her take some punches without getting, impaled again or stabbed or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it was like, thank goodness. But I think even Shin was a little surprised. She doesn't know much about her, I guess. And, this might have been something that was a wake up call to her to look out for people in that type of armor going forward. I'm sure her master knows all about the Mandalorians, but maybe, this might have even been her first encounter with one.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm gonna sort of let this play right here, just this scene, just a little bit, because what I liked about it is this slow, when she sees like Morak, it's like, she was like, what do you want? Like, do you really, you know what I mean? But just the choice from this particular scene, and then this stance right here.
Anakin stance.
I love that stance. Like, definitely, like,
okay, yeah.
Like just that cross again. What'd you say?
People were asking, like, when is she going to use that grip? And are we going to see, like all these different things? There was a lot of it in this episode.
Yeah, definitely a lot of it in the episode. And on the simple fact that, like I said, it did give us, not much is what we're going to see with Balin and Ahsoka, but with this scene, you still got that samurai vibe, between the both of them. Close quarters, she was more out in the open, so she had more of an advantage, from a distance. You know what I mean? And, you definitely see that she uses that, to her advantage with the strikes, with her fighting style, and the simple fact that, again, that she selected to only use one saber during this fight. You know what I mean? So obviously it's her knowing her opponents and, knowing the weakness at that point. And again, the difference between Morak and Balin is that, Morak don't talk. He talks, but he ain't gonna talk shit. You know what I mean? He just, again, as an inquisitor, go in, like he's used to. So, Ahsoka already knew in the very beginning that she had the advantage. We then basically switched back to Sabine and Shin and their battle. That force push that knocked Sabine, like, seriously, like, that'll knock the wind out of me. But she did get back up and got that saber. Mario, what did you think about, again, I think what the beauty of this scene is like the darkness, but then the colors and the vibrant of seeing the sabers clash. It sort of like gave me like that old Vader Luke vibe back in the day with just the colors during those dark scenes and how the colors were vibrant, when the lightsabers struck, when they would strike. What did you think?
Yeah, it was a little bit reminiscent of that, It was good to see, I guess, Sabine have that confidence again to try to wield this lightsaber, because I mean, she's not going to be able to do anything with her blasters or any other. Well, she did kind of best her with one of the gadgets that she had. Yeah, honestly, got a a little laugh at that. But yeah, man, I would imagine that after their last encounter, that Sabine will probably be terrified right now, also trying to deal with Shin. But I just love Shin's intensity, man. At the same time, she's like, "Come on, man, what you gonna do?"
Yeah, right, definitely.
So, but she's just like way overconfident as well. I just love that.
Yeah. And then, of course, we see this scene, and again, I just want to kind of this stance right here. This is the stance. Yeah, bro. Yep. Yeah, bro. Like, yeah, bro. That felt good. Like, to see this stance.
As soon as she hit it, we all knew what was coming.
Yeah,
that's your ass.
That's right here, and just a level of confidence. I have to say this though. I do have to say this. Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka is so beautiful, man. Like, literally, she looks good as Ahsoka. Like, literally, like an older version of Ahsoka in this particular form, who's witnessed a lot. And again, she's more reserved, as far as what she used to be as Snips. We see this level of confidence in her. CC, during this scene, tell me you weren't on the edge of your seat, because again, even though, like I said, I wanted Morak to be someone completely different, there were no labels to it, but it was like, if they decided to make him somebody that we know, I would have been okay with it, but I was just hoping that they didn't go that route. What were you thinking during this fight?
Well, I mean, I think with this stance, it's obvious, like, someone's going to die and it's not going to be Ahsoka. So, like, I was one of the people, I don't think every character, like, unknown or, mysterious to us needs to be someone crazy. So I'm glad that they revealed that, it was witchcraft or what have you. Yeah, I liked this standoff. The fight in the woods kind of honestly reminded me of The Force Awakens. Also in the same vein with like this, it was like, okay, I was like, is he gonna lose a head? Like, what's gonna happen? And you saw that and you're like, oh shit, like that's that's a boo-boo.
Yeah.
I also liked the contrast between this, obviously, and then Sabine and Shin fighting, because I liked that, again, it kind of reminded me of The Force Awakens, where it was Kylo versus Rey, and Rey was really like an amateur. Sabine has more training than Rey does in a lightsaber, but the moment I loved as well was when, and I think it's in the next scene, was when Sabine like outstretched her hand and Shin flinched. Yeah. And then I don't know if it was at that moment that she was like, you have no business with a lightsaber or something like that. She realized Sabine is not force sensitive. In the way that, Shin is, Ahsoka is, and maybe Morak, obviously. So I thought that was very telling, that it kind of reminded me of the scene with Wu-Tang. I don't know, what are we calling him now? So
Huyang.
With
you were right
him
the first
saying
time, it's Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang, that she was rusty in fighting. Yeah. So I think we did see that she's obviously very rusty and not as like battle tested as Ahsoka is, clearly.
Not as proficient.
I think that was like another reason I was telling it maybe explained why Shin didn't really try to use the Force on her during the fight, like a Force choke or a Force push or anything like that, because if two Jedi are fighting and they do that, it usually cancels out. So it's like, if she knew that she didn't really have much power, she probably wouldn't have, wasted time trying to fight her. She could have just threw her around with the Force, but maybe she just wasn't sure, so she didn't just choke her out and just fought her straight up. But after that, it was too late, and she had to go. But it makes sense.
Yeah, definitely it did. And I like this now, which is a good that's my question, because when Sabine did outstretch her hand, and it sort of like gave you it, because I heard it's like, like when you feel the Force, and when we know someone's using the Force, you can hear that sound. It sounded like she did use it. And I know a lot of people were like, well, no, Shin, she just flinched because she thought there would be impact. But it's like we heard that sound. Was that intentional, or that's the only thing that I was curious about? Like, I didn't know whether or not she actually used the Force, which the one thing I will say is that I'm glad that it wasn't forced, pun intended. I'm glad that we didn't see her use like the Force the way we would typically see someone who is strong in the Force use it, but wasn't there sort of like a sound that was there? Like she did use a minor, like a little essence of the Force.
I didn't hear it. Maybe
you didn't.
I missed it too. Yeah, I must have missed it.
If you, it was like a.
I'll check it again, but I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
Play the tape with sound. Let's hear it.
Nope. Hell no, I ain't doing that. Will not. But it just felt like it was. But it, again, I liked how it was a bait. And then she did basically use the gauntlets, against her. She went back to her teaching, and I think that was incredible. But the only thing is, Huyang did tell them, you were better together. You were better together.
And think about it. If they would have stayed together, they could have killed Shin and still got to Balin and then fought him together.
That's the thing, is like, despite what he said, they just didn't listen. Yeah. And it's the confidence that level that just kind of took over. But again, it serves the narrative of the story. So they just decided not to. But this right here, this scene.
Man, him just sitting there like a final boss.
Right there, bro.
Like when she showed up, you almost seen like the health bar come across the top of the screen. And it's like, oh shit.
And 2 health bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
This scene.
He was just so calm, and she was ready to fight. He was just like, it's always the quiet ones.
Yeah. And it was almost like Mario, looking at this scene, it was almost like you can tell he was hoping it would not come to this.
Yeah.
You can tell like there was reserve. Like he didn't want,
to a degree.
He didn't want it to come to this. He was hoping that it did not have to come to this space. Because again, he really doesn't want to kill Ahsoka. But again, he knows what the objective is and what he seeks. So it was sort of like in the mind of, a Thanos, a protagonist who, has, they feel as though everything they're doing is for the greater good, no matter what the cost is. But you can see that even within this scene, like he was a bit reserved, like he just didn't want, was hoping it didn't have to turn into like an altercation. You know what I mean?
A little bit, but once he drew that saber, man, it's just like all of that, went out the window. Yeah, my man was like, he was a straight up beast mode swinging that thing around, man.
Yeah, bro. Look at it, bro. Like, it's just,
you know what's scary? He's conflicted and doesn't really want to kill her. Just imagine if this dude was pissed off.
Dude.
Oh, forget about it. You're done.
Forget about it.
You know what I mean? Like this is him trying to be nice.
Yeah, like it's. Hey, CC, there's your Ray Stevenson. You want to talk about him, CC?
That beautiful man. Yeah, what a great confrontation. Like I have to. I'm a little shaky on like exactly what was said and when, but like I also just seeing the trailer and hearing him say, like I knew Anakin Skywalker or whatever, but few would like live to see what he became. Like I got chills, bro. Chills.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love the taunting kind of nature of that. And then I think right before they start fighting, he says something like, it's inevitable. Like like something like that, like right before they start battling it out. And I loved it. Because it reminds me of like the conversation with Ahsoka and Sabine in the beginning about whether it was more important to continue the mission and stop their ability to get to Thrawn or to find Ezra. Where it was like, they both know what's going to happen. He certainly knows what's going to happen. I love this. He looks amazing. He looks the part. This is an excellent scene.
He definitely baited her. Because again, like his ability to read a person or to know their past or to feel their emotions and know exactly what their intentions are, he fed on that, which was, her Ahsoka's grief and, basically guilt at feeling as though she turned her back on Anakin. And he played on that, like and a sign. Like definitely. And a sign that he did that was her answer. I'm not here to discuss my past. You know what I mean? And that dope line when he was like, well, I'm only here to secure the future. You know what I mean? Like, and it was a dope play because he knew at that point he had her. You know what I mean? He had her right where he wanted her at that point. And what was dope about it is seeing how they both went through those forms. Like they each went through those actual forms. It felt very samurai. And like Huyang said, is that with Balin, his saber is unique. Again, it requires him to use both hands, which most Jedis do, but his hilt is built specifically for power. And he channels a lot of his force ability through the actual saber. But this scene right here, go ahead.
All right, I can't help. He knew it.
Go ahead.
Sith Daddy has all the tea. Okay, he knows what's going on. He came there. He had everything out there. He even surprised Shin. Shin's like, but how did you know all this stuff? He's like, I'm the Sith Daddy, remember? And to be honest with you, Elspeth thinks she's in charge. She thinks she's pulling the strings. She could never be in charge of Sith Daddy. There's no way that she's going to come out on top over him. I have a feeling those two might be like a final battle for control. But I have to say that he fills a void in this. He's got sex appeal. He's supposed to be seductive. The dark side is supposed to seduce you. And Ahsoka knows this. She's looking at him. She's like, he's kind of hot looking, but he doesn't wish me well. But he didn't kill her. And so it's a contradiction. He knows she's going to come after him, but he does not care. He doesn't even necessarily want to waste too much time on that. He's got other stuff to do, other fish to fry. He has things coming up. He doesn't care about any of this stuff. He just wants to go on his day. And I think it is very interesting. I think he is obviously much more experienced than her. However, it still was very interesting because we want to see battles between strong Jedi or former Jedi. And this was very intense. A lot of what was said and what wasn't said was very intense. And it was almost as if he was going to teach her a lesson. Yeah, it was almost as if he was going to teach her a lesson. It was almost as if he was saying, you're not as good as you think you are.
Yeah.
And I know you're not as good as you think you are. And she didn't like to hear that. But she's an adult, she can handle this. But I don't think there are a lot of people who have ever told her that at this point in her life. Maybe Elspeth might have hinted at it, but this man read her. He read her, and I don't think she expected that, when she was having her cup of coffee this morning.
Yeah, she didn't.
No.
And going into it with this confrontation was like, it was simply amazing. Like, I thought it was so dope. Again, he played, she played into his strengths, but didn't basically utilize her training. Again, you're trained by Anakin, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it was just ill-fated because he had the upper hand, through the entire battle. But I thought that, again, this battle, though it wasn't, the typical or, the usual, Ahsoka that we see, who's completely acrobatic. You got to keep in mind that, again, she is older now, but at the same time, she's more reserved. She's more in tune with, with the Force in a certain way. But even with that said, I feel as though a lot. All right. So I want to touch on this a bit because, the trial of Mortis, knowing that she basically was revived by the sister. So part of the sister's power flows through her. There's a lot of potential, a lot of Force potential within Ahsoka that I don't think she's fully tapped into, to be quite honest. She's strong within the Force, but I don't even think she understands how powerful she is in the Force. And I think, we're going to talk about that a little later with the scene coming up with the finale of this particular scene of this episode. But again, through her training, I don't think that she would have been baited the way she was, if she was a lot stronger, even in the mind. She wouldn't have been baited by Balin the way she was. But again, like he said, even what I keep forgetting his name because he was just in here a minute. With what Christopher pointed out, he did say experience. So again, like we know, he has a lot of experience, and I think in a way, Ahsoka sort of underestimate the level of experience that he had.
He also has a completely different style. Like you were mentioning about his saber, but he almost carries himself like a knight and uses a sword like a long sword. And virtually every lightsaber, Jedi or Sith that we've ever seen has mostly used lightsaber like a fencing sword more so than anything else, or if that's a katana. But I don't think I've ever seen anyone use one like a longsword. Yeah. And so I think, judging by his size, his build, I think it just adds so much to a different technique, because we see some people use like a strong style, like how Vader uses, or Mace maybe, but his sword construction and everything is just so different. So
more superior
I just
and powerful.
It was great contrast between her style and his, which is obviously agility and fluidness, and his is just like, I'm a monster, I'm gonna fuck you up. I mean, that's the wall of a dude, man. That's a mountain.
Bro.
And we didn't really see her, like
Sith
you said,
Daddy gave her a spanking.
We did not see her using her agility to try to offset that. She tried to go square up with him because she was pissed off.
Yeah. And the thing is, he's powerful. He's too powerful for that. You know what I mean? And I think she's understanding that. I'm understanding that she's fighting a man in close quarters, which she's not used to based on her style and her form. But this is the style that she basically chose. And I think that she, in a sense, knew that. You know what I mean? So, and again, like this toss, when he tossed her, bro, I was like, yo, this man, like, damn, that was a forced toss for that ass, bro, like straight up. And again, it was for me, like I said earlier, I was happy to see that she was getting bested, because I think she needed to come down a notch, but she also, she's still on the journey herself. And I like to see that, I'm, was, glad that we actually got a chance to see that. We do basically go back to the brig, or, we see Morgan, finalizing the coordinates. We then switch back over to this particular scene with, Sabine still fighting Shin. And it gets to that moment where, again, Shin almost bests her and has her on the ground. At that point, we do see that, Sabine, outstretched hand, tries to use the Force. Shin tells her that you have no power. But then we see that Sabine gets that upper hand because she's still, we see that, Shin's focused on the power element, but not knowing and understanding you're fighting a Mandalorian at this point. You know what I mean? And with the Mandalorian, again, she's besting you with skill. You know what I mean? Which she mainly used, her gauntlets to kind of get the upper hand at that point. But then, Shin, sensing that, her master is going to probably need her at that point, she flees the battle by causing a distraction using the smoke. And then, of course, we switch back to this scene with Balin, when, again, playing to, his strengths again with Ahsoka, tells her, and I think it was like, this is the first time, even in this battle, we've seen him angry, when he tells her that the Jedi, have always been dangerous and have been a plague, at that point. This scene, look at this color, man. Look at that.
Incredible expressions on the face, the posture, all of this was the sparks off of the sabers. It's just remarkable. It's a picture that's a still, but it's in motion.
Yeah. I want to, Vinny, you got to do something to this, bro. Either you got to do something to this, bro.
I could see Mario playing or cosplaying as this character.
Yeah, Mario, what up?
Yes.
There you go.
What up, Mario? You got to go as Balin for 2025, bro. Come on, Mario.
It's similar build to him.
Come on, Mario. Come on, man. You got to do it, bro. You got to go as Balin, bro.
No,
Come on, man.
I can't carry all that extra clothing. I get too uncomfortable. I'll start getting claustrophobic, and I'm good. I'm good.
I mean, all right, we'll just put it on and just take a picture real quick and then go change.
We need an El Scope vessel costume.
Bro, come on, bro. Just do it. As a matter of fact, this will be the first meme of the night. After we get off, I'm going to put Profi's face on Balin. And yeah,
that's good. Hey, I welcome that. Go for it.
I got any word for that.
Exactly. I'm good.
But again, we see Ahsoka get slightly the upper hand, but then she goes to basically grab the star map, which again tears her hand up a bit while she's doing it. And of course, during that particular fight, Balin goes in. She's already injured at that point. So, again, she's weak. Shin arrives, which makes, Ahsoka believe or think that, Sabine has been harmed. And then that's when she gives that force push and, throws Shin to the wall, knocks her out, as we can see. But then Sabine does basically show up, which then causes Balin to, again, go in for the attack even more. Ahsoka tells Sabine to basically destroy the star map, which we knew she wasn't going to do.
But Sabine's an idiot, for real. Why was she going to shoot the fucking map with it in her hand?
Word.
What sense does that make? Like, if I wanted to shoot something and destroy it, why would I hold it in my hand? Like, put it on the floor and shoot it. Why would you hold it in your hand? What if you shoot your damn hand off? Look at this. Am I crazy? Why would you hold it in your hand?
You're gonna win badass points if you just throw it in the air and hit it. Throw it in the air and shoot it. Like shoot it.
Duck hunt that shit. Duck hunt that shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also she does have the saber, so she could have used the saber to basically just go ahead and stab right through it as well. But serving the narrative, here's the thing though, because we notice she doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
She doesn't. She's hoping that again there could be another way. She's still viewing that star map as a means to get to Ezra. So that's what she's focused on. She's not focused on destroying anything at this point. She doesn't care. All she cares about is at this particular point, none of what is actually happening right now is on her mind. Yes, she cares for Ahsoka. She loves Ahsoka, but she loves Ezra more. And that's basically what her intents are, is to get to him by any means. And if someone can promise her a way to get there, then again, she's more into that, as we see when Balin in one fell strike knocks Ahsoka off that daggone, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then turns around and was like, give me the
Hey baby.
Yeah.
He not doing the ocean. Was like, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Exactly, right. And we see him close his eye as he gets his eyes as he gets in tune with the Force, and he realizes, again, the loss and the revelation that Sabine, Ahsoka wouldn't allow her to leave to go to her family, in which Night of a Thousand Tears, the whole purge of Mandalore, she lost her family. So we know that her confidence in Ahsoka was straight at that point, because she kind of blames her for that. Or we don't notice she does, because she didn't actually outwardly say it. It's just that we assume that her disappointment is in Ahsoka for that night. What do you think about that, Cece?
Yeah, I think they definitely spent a lot of time on this scene to kind of, even though we knew what her choice was going to be.
Yeah.
I think it helped, like when it felt kind of like they dragged it out, quite honestly. But I think that helped, where it's like we knew what choice she was going to make, but at least it still seemed like it was a hard one for her. And like I said, I know like it was a dumb decision and stuff, but I think that we have to give her credit in that she assumed Ahsoka was also dead, even though we know people don't really die in Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I think she was also probably wondering, like, Ahsoka was probably her one hope in getting to Ezra any other way than actually just going as a hostage. So I don't think it was, because I was even thinking about it. We've been thinking about it, speculating like, how are the good guys going to get to Thrawn and Ezra if it means that they have to utilize a ship like this that they haven't built that's got like 8 hyperdrives on it? Mm-hmm. So I think it was almost a smart choice to kind of just be like, you know what? The only way I'm going to get to Ezra is as a hostage, is going with you. So just give up. Just give up, because I think the fighting spirit of like a Mandalorian, she's probably still thinking, I still have a shot as a hostage. I have a better shot as a hostage of getting Ezra than I do if, I sacrifice myself or I let this dude kill me, because he's obviously going to kill me, because if he just bested Ahsoka, I don't stand a chance.
True. Definitely. And she know those shots. She wasn't getting off a single shot against him because he's just that good. But again, he offers her a choice. He plays off of her weakness, which he's good at. Again, he's already says it. He has the experience. So he offers it a choice of, destroy the orb or come with me and, find, the person who you consider family. I'll make sure that you will find. All he had to say to her is that you will find Ezra. That's it. He said that to her. So that's all she's moving with.
That's how you get Sabine to do anything.
Yeah. Is that she'll find Ezra. That's it. You know what I mean? That's where she's at. And
Sabine,
I agree with you.
Can you take out the trash? Like if you just ask her, can you take out the trash? I heard Ezra was at the trash can
last week.
Can you take out
Ezra? You want to see Ezra?
Right.
Fine.
Right. Exactly. And then basically we see inevitably she gives it to him. And I agree with you. It's you're what I would want to see, and I would have actually wanted to see, and I know a lot of people are like, no, I don't want to see relationships between, but I think it makes for good camaraderie, because like I said, it did, even with the show itself, it felt like there could have been something there between them. You know what I mean? And they're playing this totally different.
Yeah, her least favorite band is better than Ezra for sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean, bro? Like, it's how they did this is like, I wish they're playing in a space where, again, like there's much more than just seeing Ezra, or trying to find a piece of your family. She actually literally has an emotional attachment to him. Of course, we know that Shin awakens, uses the force choke Sabine until Balin says, look, I'm a man of my word, do not do this, let her go. We're going to get her to where she needs to be, and, make sure that that's going to happen. We see that basically, both Hera and Jacen actually come out of hyperspace, with the Western Battalion. They're right there in front of that damn hyperdrive ship. And I'm like, yeah, nah, get out the way. Get out the way. But of course, they're here, getting the coordinates, which, like, again, it's like if they would have just been there a lot earlier, a lot of this probably wouldn't have happened. But again, it is what it is. We see that the hyperdrive is fired up. Morgan Esmith, tells them, like, you know what? We don't care if they're here. Let's just fire away, which now we see and know that the hyperdrive, when you go into hyperspace, it can be also utilized as a weapon. Heavily weaponized at that point, because I think it destroys 3 of those ships. So now it's only Carson Teva and I think, what was the other pilot, the Asian pilot that are left with us with Hera? There's only 2 of them left, right?
It was the I think there was 2 that were destroyed. It was the
yeah.
Sure. Is that now the Morgan maneuver?
That's what it basically seems like. That's what it seems like. So again,
I already forgot about The Last Jedi.
I know. I was like, until it becomes the Hondo. No.
The Hodo maneuver.
The Hodo maneuver.
Now this is the
Hodo maneuver. Yeah, the Hodo maneuver. Yeah. So again, this is the scene, and that's, like I said, like the endangerment of her child. Yeah. That right there was like, okay, if your child dies, it's definitely your fault. We got a $9 super chat by Galactic J. New Rockstar pointing out that their ship had 7 hyperdrives on it. but the star map it shows 8 Purgo drawings surrounding the location they need to get to. Interesting. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like for pretty much them to get there, they're going to have to possibly rely on the Purgo.
Yeah, they got to hitch a ride.
To hitch a ride and to get in hyperspace. Of course, we see Huyang calling for both Sabine and Ahsoka, not knowing what the situation is at this point. By the way, thank you for the $9 super chat. And then we get to this particular scene, which I thought was amazing. That they went from that water scene to the world between worlds. You know what I mean?
Is that where she is?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do we know for sure that's where she is?
Yeah.
That's where she is.
100%. 1,000%.
That's 100% the world between worlds.
Yeah.
That's where she is.
Million.
Yep. That's definitely where she is. The bridge, you can see basically around it, the different bridges and the key point.
Yeah.
Yep. World between worlds. That's exactly where she is right now.
Okay. I see that it's a bridge now.
Okay. Yep. That's definitely the world between worlds. Now, the biggest question is how she got there. Who got her there? That's the interesting part. Is it just that basically, again, her having the ability or actually in touch with the sister from Mortis? Is it that fact that she's able to access it a certain way? But I don't think so. I think she was pulled in. And I'm wondering who did that.
They could have twisted the entire mythology of it. Like instead of it being a physical location you can enter, it could be just a plane of existence.
I think she was pushed in, and I think that it was the will of the Force. She was pushed overboard that platform, right? That's the last time we saw her, and then all of a sudden she wakes up in this other dimension, and there was a lot of machinations going on in this platform that they were on. And maybe it's a byproduct of what Balin did, and he may be unaware that he might have been the cause of this.
Or do you think it could have been just from her holding the map as it burned in her hand?
Yeah, maybe.
That could have had a link to it as well.
Yeah.
That, you know what? You got a point, bro. Because that map is burnt into her hand, like the dude from Raiders of the Lost Ark, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
She got the map in her hand, like Home Alone. She got that shit on her.
Yeah, bro. Like the map is in that hand. So again, the coordinates are right there.
Yep.
But yeah, like it's the access point of how she would have gotten here. There's so many different theories on what could have been, and like I said, I'm just gonna hold out and wait.
Yeah, I am not counting on it being exactly what it is in Rebels.
My theory, Mario, when she grabbed the map. Yeah, so that's what Blitz said, definitely. We got Rhino. I don't know why they made the, what is it? The aging of Hayden, like we would really be able to tell with all the glowing stuff around him. But is that Hayden, though? I mean, is that Anakin? That's the question. Is that really Anakin?
Did you notice the Darth Vader theme that played?
Yeah, bro.
That's what's interesting.
Yeah, bro. That was definitely the interesting part.
That's going to be the tell, right? Because it might be completely different rules to how they use this world between worlds. Because we're seeing Anakin maybe entering world between worlds at a different point of his life and just being there because time is, not linear to in there. So it could be Anakin not even knowing he becomes Vader at this point. This might not be like him just choosing his younger self to be shown. It could be Anakin that entered in there and then just seeing her at a different point in time. Kind of like No Way Home, where Spider-Man met villains who were in different points of time that he met alive in different at the same time in his world. Yeah. It's super complicated, so they got their work cut out for them to make it make sense. Because it's tough, but I love that we're getting going to get a version of it.
And he looks like Anakin around the same time when she left, right? This is him, Clone Wars, when she left. All of a sudden, we're seeing him again, and it looks like that same point. I don't know, but he looks like it's him at that time period. I don't know.
Well, someone pointed out, I haven't rewatched the episode to be sure, but someone pointed out that he has Vader's lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I almost thought that this was like Revenge of the Sith era Anakin.
There was also another theory that I didn't think about, but was interesting. So we know that during the Mortis trials that, you know, the possibility of, okay, so we know that with that trials, the son, the sister, the father, they are what would be labeled celestials. Yep. You know what I mean? For that time period, right? So also we know that the father actually knows that Anakin is the chosen one and wanted him to take his place. He wanted him to be the one to take his place, to be the one that sees all, has those access points, that controls, knowing how powerful he was.
Now it's another version of why he was the
prophecy. Exactly. Which also, because they are celestials, they said that they could have been the ones, and even Anakin himself, could actually be a celestial that was planted in Shmi at that point, right?
Yep.
Possibility. But also that maybe because he did fulfill balance, the balance of the Force itself, maybe at this point, he himself, where he is right now, is where he is supposed to be. That this could actually be the father's choice, the father who is now bringing that balance in the form of Anakin, or Anakin could be exactly where he needs to be, and is that point of access to show Ahsoka so many different things. You know what I mean? So it was
the son.
Exactly.
The son knew already as well.
Exactly, bro. Yeah. Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's really crazy how this could definitely evolve. But I do believe that at this particular point, possibly that we're going to see Ahsoka the White. I believe it, bro.
It could be how she. Yeah, it could be how she comes back, like Gandalf and shit.
Yeah.
Oh snap! Dude.
Well, maybe she'll have an easy time traveling to where she needs to go because she is in the world between worlds.
Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing, though, because we know that she can't. Because the point of this is, and even Filoni stressed it, is that she cannot be placed in a spot or in a different place other than where she came. So she has to be placed back where she came. Therefore, it doesn't mess up anything else. So she has to go back where she was.
Yeah. What's going to be tricky is she was already in the world between worlds and knew the rules. So she can't all of a sudden ignore the rules as if she didn't already, warn Ezra about breaking the rules.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many different points, but we know that she has to go back. Like, she can't all of a sudden just appear in this unknown galaxy through or use that point, because it just screws everything up. Okay. The point of why she was there and where she has to go, which is back, so nothing gets screwed up in a different timeline.
All she can gain here is knowledge. She can't make any changes.
Exactly. And I think the whole point of Anakin also being here is to let her know that, which I'm really, really hoping that we get an emotional moment with this next episode, is that him letting her know that it wasn't your fault. That this is where, and this is who I had to become. I had to become
just like
Vader.
You didn't do this, I did this.
Yeah, like to let her know that it wasn't her fault. Like, I want that in this next episode. And I think this is why they got that whole fan thing going on right now, because I think this episode 5 is going to be big, and Filoni's directing it.
Yeah, they do it for just any, they were, I'm sure they thought really long and hard about which episode they picked to do a fan thing for it.
Yeah.
Even though this would have been a perfect episode to do it on as well. This was like one of the greatest episodes of Star Wars television ever, man.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Thank you.
But I just wanted, that one scene where Sabine got force pushed up against a tree. It's just a coincidence. I'm just throwing this out there. When her helmet fell off, just for a fraction of a second, I wanted Cece to be her stunt double. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, real, like, this to break character. Just to quickly break character, like, off of I'm gonna get you, sucker, when we got a chance to see the stunt man real quick, and then it just goes back.
Wait, was that? Nah.
Yeah, nah, that wasn't.
That could be.
Nah, that couldn't be, brother. Nah, that wasn't. That it definitely wasn't.
Just one of us, just like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme, where we're like,
right there, right? Definitely. But yeah, it is going to be interesting because, like, you know, Mario, like you said, hearing that Vader theme, like at the end, like definitely how that switched. It just real, and then here we go, the saber. It does look like Vader's saber. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
Well,
and that what's up?
No, I was gonna say because what was it? Attack of the Clones? His lightsaber design was basically Vader's.
Mm-hmm.
What if it's in between? Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
who knows?
It could be.
I will say, Lewis has a really good point though about, like, these are all great theories, but it's going to be a daunting task to explain to anyone who hasn't watched the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Or Rebels, but just even them doing this, it's like I was up out my seat, geeking out, and I'm watching it with my girls. Like, what? before Hayden came on, because I knew where they were, and it's like they're doing this for, you know, for everybody, but there's obviously a whole nother level of enjoyment if you are aware of these other shows. And I think that they're kind of pushing the envelope of, hey man, it's on you. Like, you'll enjoy this so much more if you've seen these other shows, and there's going to be stuff that you may not even really fully understand or appreciate if you haven't, but I don't care. We want to do it this way anyways, because you only have 8 episodes. You can't explain all the shit that Rebels and Clone Wars backstory sets up in these episodes. And I love the balls to be like, no, we're going to do it anyway, because I guarantee you they had meetings where they were like, Dave, what the fuck is this? Like, what if they haven't seen Rebels? And he's like, that's on them. We're doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, they can easily explain in the next episode, though, man.
Yeah.
Like, do you think it's possible that the entire episode could take place within the World Between Worlds?
Yeah.
I think
possibly.
The entire episode?
Possibly. Because the thing is, I think that you said you would be for it.
I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against it.
Well, it could, because here's the thing. Just think of the possibilities. What if he basically shows her alternate scenarios? That if she was there, if she felt as though she needed to be there, what could have actually happened if she never left?
So
you know
he's
what I
basically
mean?
the ghost of Christmas past? Or Christmas future, or whatever
type of scenario. Just showing her everything, because she needs to realize that her path wasn't with him at that point. And that path that was chosen was purposeful. It was what she was meant to do. But what if he basically shows her, okay, this is what could have been? You know what I mean? Go back to Mustafar. Show that if she was there, what could have actually happened? Show if she was at that temple, what could have actually happened? You know what I mean? Like during Order 66, if she was there with him instead of being somewhere else.
So in other words, she would be in the position that Ezra was in when he was like trying to figure out.
Yep. Scenario switched. Now she has to be the one to see. And like Vinny said, since she already knows the rules, now she's getting tested, because now she's faced with a master that she thought she could save, where Ezra wanted to basically save Kanan, and she let him know that you're taking it away from, because if you save him, then you wouldn't have survived.
And so
everyone would have died. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she didn't necessarily have that attachment to Kanan. That was his master. She wasn't tested in that same way.
Exactly.
So it was real easy for her to say, because I wasn't someone she loved. Mm-hmm. So now she'll be tested to have the willpower to not fuck shit up like Ezra potentially almost did. Even though there's that whole, I mean, technically in a way, Ezra did create a forgivable paradox by rescuing her. I mean, technically, Vader should have killed her.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what I'm saying.
There could be loopholes in World Between Worlds where if the scenario in time doesn't affect much, you can get away with it. So there might be something small that she can do that doesn't affect other people. Like Ezra had saved Kanan, then Kanan wouldn't have saved Ezra in regular timeline, and then in which case Ezra wouldn't have been there. So that creates a paradox where it blows everything up. But there might be something that Ahsoka could change that is minute enough to as a workaround. But who the fuck knows? They could make this, don't go into the light. Like, you have more to do, Ahsoka. Go back out there and go get them. They could make it simple as that. They might not even do any of the world between world stuff. We're all just speculating.
Like, this could all be a dream.
This could all be when you're in a coma and don't go into the light. You got more to do, kid. Go out there, go kick some butt, and then her just, wake up and. It might not be what we think it is, so we'll see.
Yeah,
but I like the idea that if it's not because of people haven't seen Rebels or Clone Wars, because I feel like Filoni's done a lot of stuff that puts the onus on the fans to have seen it, and if you didn't, then oh well.
And you guys are going to see it in the movie theater. You're so lucky.
Well, I mean.
I told you we're gonna take some cardboard cutouts of all three of y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so y'all can share it with us. I mean, I don't know how much cardboard they're gonna have for Mario, but
it's gonna be a big ass cutout, man.
That's gonna be a big tall ass cutout, bro. Like straight up. They're gonna be like, what the fuck you think you taking that? Be like, well, come on, man, don't worry about it. We got this.
Right.
But I don't mind the CGI here, bro. I know a lot of people were like, but I don't mind it. It's a younger version. You know what I mean? Like,
it just looks weird.
I know it looks weird, but how weird? Okay, so this looks weird. How weird did he look like a 40-year-old wearing a Padawan braid, bro?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like.
You're not wrong, dude. You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
I was like, come on, man. Like, do my boy a bit better than that, man. Like, I'd rather see this particular scenario where he is younger. So it's the younger version of him and how she saw him. Now, wait a minute. So if I'm looking, this version doesn't even like what's pointed out. I think someone pointed out in the chat, he doesn't even have that scar that Asajj Ventress gave him.
Asajj gave him that scar?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
When?
Remember?
Early on
in Clone Wars, bro. She gave him that scar. She's the one that gave him that scar across his eye. That's how he got it when they fought.
Yeah.
And then they just never explained it in Revenge of the Sith, if I recall.
Nah, they didn't talk about it at all. But that's how he got the scar. So
I just remember the original one, the original Clone Wars series, the animated one, where when he got the scar, then previously.
Oh,
that's just say what I remember. It had nothing to do with Asajj.
In that one, Mario,
he was helping out some.
You mean the Tartakovsky one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like helping out some tribe of creatures or something like that, and he had to like put his hand in some sort of energy beam or something like that, and that beam, I remember, like
he's just been using a lot of aloe vera. He's good.
Sure. Yeah.
But he doesn't have the scar at all, so it's just like I'm wondering
but the scar is over his right eye. Can you really see in the dark like that?
Yeah.
I'm looking.
I'm just happy
right
he's
eye, not the left eye.
In the episode anyway. I don't care if the CGI is not good. For the de-aging. I'm just happy he's there.
Again, light reflection off of basically where he is as well. I mean,
and he has the rooted hair. That's all I care about.
Yeah, right. Hey, didn't they? And they did say that basically the Clone Wars, the Attack of the Clones version is now almost at waitlist, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yep. And I know a lot of people basically are now in search of that rooted hair version. They want that so bad. They definitely want that so bad. But definitely, like I said, this was a fitting end to the episode. Again, I gave this episode a 9.5 out of 10. I love it. I loved everything about this episode. Only thing that, again, just some of the choices, but all in 9.5 out of 10. I was all in on this episode. I think they did an excellent job. It was excellent. It was amazing. It's what we wanted. And the thing is, going forward, knowing or not knowing anything at all, we're in a good place. We're definitely, because again, at this point, Vinny, we're like you. We haven't seen shit, so we don't know what's going to happen.
Yep.
Like literally, you can go back and watch the trailers now and be like, "What the fuck? We saw all that."
Yeah,
but I wouldn't do it.
No, I'll do it after the show's over.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't do it. But yeah, man, like, overall, I thought that this was definitely a solid episode. It was a solid start. It brought me back to what it feels. I've been on board with this from day one, but I knew it was going to get to a point where it was going to, everything that we saw before was going to this was going to pay off. You know what I mean? It was definitely going to pay off. And I cannot wait till next Tuesday, to see this episode. And I think this bodes well because, again, it just pays to be more patient with Filoni. And, because I think that he's more connected to the Lord than anybody else in Disney. Like, he's the one that we have to look at, because a lot of information and everything he's getting came straight from Lucas himself. Even like, when they discussed the Trials of Mortis, that all came from, George. So again, I think that going forward, it just looks promising. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I want to see the next episode. Sith Daddy, take me away. I'm ready to go to this other galaxy. I am on board with this. Let's go. Let's do it.
I love that she's all on board with the Sith.
That's it's Heir to the Empire. Chapter 2. Sith Daddy, take me away. Working title. I think that a lot of why this is so amazing is we've had a lot of, since Disney bought it, we've had a lot of people come in and have no real connection to Lucas prior to the buyout. And this is someone who has been attached to the hip of George for many, many years and isn't trying to that's cool, but here's what I would do. He wants his, world to be an extension of what George made as opposed to a replacement or thinking that he knows better. And I think that there's a lot of Star Wars that kind of went off the rails because they wanted to reinvent the wheel and make it something that was entirely their own instead of just building on George's world. And that doesn't just mean more Skywalker stories. It means the feel, the lore, I mean, there's traces of stuff Lucas, set the foundation for that Filoni builds on and then adds to it, as opposed to that stuff is dumb. I want to do it my way. And I think that it shows how much he cares about Star Wars more than making a name for himself. And I feel like a lot of people who have taken on, this franchise have gone at it with more selfish intentions than Dave is. And I think that goes to show. And he's added a lot to it too, but a lot of it has been amazing. But I think that he's talked to George he probably talks to George every night about what he wants to do and what he's doing. And I feel like George probably has a hand in a lot of Filoni's work, and I'm sure he's ran most of it by him. So I think that shows, because George is always best when he's working through someone else.
Yeah.
That's what George signs. If it's just George on his own, it's good. But when George is guiding someone else, and then but then they're doing it too, that's when we get Empire.
Yeah, definitely, bro. And it's which you're right. Don't just base it off of the simple fact that you bought an IP from an individual and that's it. Oh, we bought it. We don't have, because remember, Mario, you remember when they bought Lucasfilm and Star Wars from George, he basically submitted his treatment to them for the first film, or how he basically thought it would go, and they didn't listen. They just threw it out. They scrapped it. And and that's the thing is, who is it? Bob Iger admitted it in his memoirs. That's exactly what they did. They scrapped his idea and they didn't have enough confidence in it. And he even admitted that, it was insane. You know what I mean?
I mean, if nothing else, the storytelling is consistent and cohesive, and the the continuity is there, because so many Star Wars projects have been one shots where left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, and it feels like out of place. It's Star Wars characters or Star Wars E, but it's Filoni as between Clone Wars and Rebels, and now this, and like episodes of Mando. It feels like a world that all fits together, as opposed to just an anthology of different people's ideas on the IP.
Yeah, definitely. Irene, thank you. And I'm pretty sure they appreciate that. But what you have to understand is they don't come for free. There's budgets to this, man. It's like you got to break the bank to get these people on this panel, man. Straight up. Like, there's budgets. There's budget cuts. I had to fall back on a whole bunch of shit. I couldn't buy figures because of this. So don't think that they on this show for free. Oh,
there was CGI cutscenes we had to cut.
Exactly, right. What you're seeing right now, CGI, and we're already past our budget. Like, so, yeah, don't.
Yeah, because what I did was I made sure they put enough in the CGI budget to like that. The stuff behind me, my collection, doesn't actually exist. Green screen,
definitely, man. But yeah, like. Again, I think that where we're going with Filoni is in a good place, and that even bodes well for his film. Like his film, once it drops, once they do it, I definitely trust it. I trust where he's going, at least for now. We're in a good place. And the thing is, it's like when you're looking at these shows, you're looking at like the pretty much all the Disney Plus streaming properties and stuff like that. We know that they're not working like with a massive budget. It's not like it is for an actual film. So a lot, there's only so much that you can actually do. You can't, especially with the shorter episodes and stuff like that, there's a lot of storytelling that you want, things that you want to say, but you have to kind of hone it in. So we know with a film, it's a different platform. It's on a different level. And I definitely think he's going to show up with that. We got a $5 super chat by Irene. Here's my budget. I appreciate that, Irene. Thank you so much.
The CGI for my blowing hair was one of the budget cuts. Couldn't afford it.
Definitely. Mario, where do you think we're going with this, man? Do you think we're in a good place, bro?
I'm happy where it's at right now, but I ain't going to speculate for the reasons I told you about earlier, man. So I'm just here for the ride, man, and I've been enjoying what I've been seeing so far, man.
Definitely.
Considering how the last few shows have been received, this is definitely a step in the right direction for me.
Definitely, man. Definitely, I appreciate that, man. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much. Till next week, next Tuesday. What Christopher said, video clown. Definitely, till next week. I cannot wait. I mean, literally, it's fall season. It's September going into October. My birthday's next month. Like, I feel good about this. I feel good about everything that I'm seeing so far. I've never felt better about Star Wars. I'm just so honed in. I'm so excited. I cannot wait until next Tuesday. But again, thank you guys out there. Mario, what you got going on, man? What you got coming up, bro? What can we expect from El Professoro, bro? But aside from the obvious, what can we expect?
No, real quick, man. Don't you got a milestone birthday next month?
Yeah, I'll be 50, yo. Yeah, I'll be 50 years old next month, bro. Can you believe that?
Dude, that's fantastic, man.
Bro, that is I am excited. I am so excited, bro, to make it to 50 years old. Not too many people can say that, but I am excited to get to that point, bro. I cannot wait to say that I've made it. That I just, you know what? And that day, bro, honestly, I don't want to do shit. I don't. I just want to sit my ass.
Go curmudgeon on us, or what?
Nope. I just want to sit my ass down and enjoy. October 25th is going to be my birthday. Well, see who's Leo's 50th. Yeah, I'll be 50, bro. I will be 50 years old. Scorpios are sus, absolutely. No, they're not. No, they're not. We are great. We're great individuals.
I'm a Scorpio, and I could say we're a little sus. It depends.
Yeah. A little sus, a little bit, definitely. Nightwing says I'm 51, bro. Hell yeah, I can't wait to get there, brother. I cannot wait to get there, bro. 50 years old. I'm going to be celebrating on my front porch, talking to God Straight up, I'm chilling. I'm literally going to chill. I cannot wait. Irene said, I'm 36 and barely remember the past 9 years. Come on.
Seriously.
Now. Come on now.
I'm there with you.
Anyway, what you got going on?
Yeah, man. Tomorrow night on the channel, LWO. It's also our 50th, right? That's celebrating right. 50 here, celebrating 50 tomorrow, celebrating 50 next month. It's just 50s all around, man. Shit, love it.
Yeah, that's cool, bro.
So yeah, that's gonna be fun. I actually put together a little bit of a montage of the best of LWO. That'll be going up tomorrow. Probably tomorrow after the show. There's a lot of shit in there, man. It was fun. I was dying putting that thing together.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Monday Night Profi Chat, and just going over all the collectible stuff. So that's always fun. And then I guess next Thursday we'll be going over episode 5 of Ahsoka, man. So yeah, lots to look forward to, man. But good stuff tonight, everybody. Great to see everyone tonight.
Hell yeah, bro.
Don't.
What?
Don't.
What? Don't what?
See, that's that Scorpio susness.
No, I was about to do something else, Mario. You can come back. I was about to do this.
Oh. All right. You could have moved her up next to you, dude, instead of me putting me up here.
This is world between screens.
She'd be closer next to you if you put her up there.
And he wouldn't have to do that if our CGI budget was a little higher. I'm just saying.
I know, right?
I know, right?
If the CGI budget wouldn't have to worry about none of that. Anyway, it's always a pleasure. Bro, hey, congrats to our 50th, bro. Our 50th episode. So happy about that, man. So on 50th, you're 50th, I'll be 50 next month. That's threes.
That's 3, man.
That's 3, bro. That's definitely 3. Gotta love that. What do you got going on? What you got coming up?
I have what do I have coming up? Oops.
Balin.
That's my phone. I have a review of World of Time coming up. It'll be on the Burn Network and on Positive Fandom. Also have a review of I can't think. I also have a review of this show of Ahsoka as well on the Burn Network. I have a number of watch parties coming up. I'm going to be looking at SEAL Team. I think it's season 5 on my channel, along with The Crown. The final season of The Crown is coming up. I'm going to do a live watch party. I did a live watch party for the last season, and I'm going to do a live watch party for the final season where I do a marathon watch party for that. Also continuing my historical movie series. Today we watched a movie called Emperor. It was made in 2012, starring Tommy Lee Jones, and it was about after World War II, which was another fantastic film. I'm going to start gaming again. I'm trying to figure out how to put this game that I want to play called Alien Isolation and the camera so you can see me at the same time, because I can't do it with my PlayStation. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm going to figure it out. Also, Sunday brunch show on Sundays. So that's what's going on. And ladies of the PGS, we had our 50th show 2 weeks ago.
Congrats.
So we're in.
There's your third.
That's right. Ladies of the PGS on Mondays at 6 p.m. on the Burn Network. And I also have a series for Friedkin where Turner Classic Movies is going to be celebrating Friedkin's movies, The Exorcist, The French Connection, on 2 days in the fall. And we're going to be doing live watch parties of those films on the Burn Network as well. So guys, please do check that out. And I just love this show so much. Star Wars, this is such a great time to be a Star Wars fan right now, everybody. It doesn't get any better than this. Thank you, everybody. It's always wonderful to be here. As I said, it's my Star Wars wishes and caviar dreams. I'm going back to Coruscant after this. So
hell yeah.
Thank you, everybody, and it's always a pleasure to be here.
Definitely appreciate it. Thank you for being here as well. Make sure you subscribe to Positive Fandom and always show your support. Definitely. Vinny, what you got coming up, man? What can we expect from you, bro?
Man, I'm using season's letting up a little bit. I'm using this time just grinding to get a lot more art done. I got us a Sabine piece I did recently. I'll throw that up next week maybe. And I've been trying to do a new piece for Star Wars every week, and so I'll have another one for next week too. So I should have 2 for the next show. And I'm just catching up on some commissions and getting a whole bunch of stuff together that I've been behind on because I'm so busy with my regular job. And then we'll, be back shortly for Comic Book Talk with Friends. And then back here to talk Ahsoka Episode 5, which will be have the beautiful luxury of seeing in the theater, which that should be crazy and very interesting. I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that, seeing episode of a television show that's currently running shown in the theater. So that's really cool.
That's gonna be nuts. Yeah.
So so that's about it. That's more than enough for right now. So I'm anxious to dig into all that stuff, anxious to see episode 5 and see where this goes. I was beyond hype for episode 4. I've watched it a couple times, and I probably will watch it a couple more. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris. Man. Yeah.
How about that, Chris?
I concur, though. I concur.
Definitely. I'm sorry about that, man. Real quick before I get to you, last but not least, CC, we got Irene Jobs that says $2 CGI, $2 super chat. Thank you very much for that. Definitely appreciate it. And also all contributions today from everybody. Thank you very much for that. Again, that we are doing this for the Halloween initiative. So all super chats are going towards a great cause. Again, for the next 3 months, all super chats are going to be going towards Halloween initiative, Thanksgiving initiative, and then also the Christmas initiative. So thank you very much for that from the bottom of my heart. All contributions, everything that you got going on there. We definitely appreciate that. CC, last but not least, what's going on with you?
Well, we definitely are not on episode 50 yet because I suck, but I am going to do a hot off the press, my art print show over at Rogue 16 tomorrow night. Trying to figure out the time, but I'm excited and a little nervous. We're going to be announcing an exclusive art print that will be available to folks in our Facebook group. So it's a work I commissioned, and I'm really happy with it. So that's really why we're doing it, so that we give people enough notice if they're interested in purchasing the print. So I'm doing that tomorrow night with Matt and Jacen. And then Tuesday, Matt, Jacen, and I are probably going to be watching. I say probably because Jacen had technical issues this time, but we usually watch Ahsoka live. And thankfully, we're not having to get up at midnight or 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning to do this, which is amazing. So we'll be watching the newest episode of Ahsoka. And then I'll be here, of course, on Thursday to talk about it with you lovely folks.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Again, make sure that you follow CC3PO and also Rogue 16. You want to make sure that you support that each and every week. Great content over there. Chris, hey, bro, don't worry about it, man. Like, your contributions is always being here each and every week, watching us and enjoying the show. So that's a contribution, bro. Nope. Nobody has to give anything. Your contribution is being a part of the show and being positive, within the group itself. So that works each and every week, bro. So thank you for being here. That's anything, your support and being here, bro, is all we need. So definitely appreciate that, bro. Love you. And yeah, what do I got going on tomorrow? Tomorrow we have Figure Flex Friday, where we make the announcement on the person who won that Mace Windu figure once it's released, and also the runner-up gets $100 gift card courtesy of a sideshow. So definitely want to do that. Oh, we got another super chat.
Look how dope that is. Irene, that's amazing.
That is amazing. This is for Chris. So Chris, Irene has basically donated this for you. Irene, thank you so much. That is a beautiful thing.
That's love. That's what's up.
That is all love, and definitely something that, really is supportive in the community. We couldn't do it without you, and you are very special for doing something like that. So we do appreciate that. So there you go, Chris. That's your contribution from Irene, bro. All day, every day. So thank you very much. Thank you guys out there. Another episode. We will be back next week to talk about that episode, because I'm pretty sure that is going to be a loaded one. Look at Chris, man. Come on, bro. You didn't have to do that, man. 99 cents super chat. Appreciate that. He says, thank you, Irene. And definitely, Chris, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for you and your support, man. There you go. Y'all too definitely are incredible. Appreciate that. But again, thank you guys for being here. It's been an awesome show. It's been incredible. Have a nice weekend. Until next week, God bless you. And again, if you ain't doing nothing else this weekend, the one thing that we want you to always do is stay uncivilized. Hold up, we got anything else? What we got going on here, man? Anybody else? We got everybody saying, yeah, what's up, man? Thank you very much. Stay uncivilized, and we will see you guys next week. Peace out. Let's go.
So uncivilized.